Yo, what's going on, everybody? You are watching Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome in. Now, coming up on today's show, Jonathan Greenard hopped on a podcast last night and gave some key updates around JJ McCarthy and where he is at with his injury. And then also, we got some more Vikings injury updates, specifically around Carson Wentz. Apparently, that shoulder injury is a lot worse than a lot of us initially thought. So we'll discuss all that on today's show. Let's first start off with what number 58, the captain of the defense, had to say around JJ McCarthy. And did he leak that JJ McCarthy is going to start this Sunday? So one of the podcast hosts pretty much just asked Greenard, where's JJ McCarthy at? This is what Greenard had to say. I think JJ, he will probably be back this week. I think he will. Now, I wish I could show the actual clip of this podcast because he said that first line right there. I think JJ, he will probably be back this week. And then he kind of took a second, and then he was like, I think he will. From my perspective, at least what I was reading out of it, he was like, oh, snap, I shouldn't have really said that. I don't know if this is the Vikings trying to keep it under wraps where they don't want to, let the Eagles know that J.J. McCarthy is starting. Now, I also think that is incredibly overblown. Like, the Eagles really aren't changing too much of their defensive game plan compared to Carson Wentz to J.J. McCarthy, but he did, pretty much say that he thinks J.J. McCarthy will be back. So I thought that was pretty interesting, but he also just was hyping up McCarthy, and I absolutely love this quote here coming in from Greenard saying, I think J.J., with the staff we got, them dialing it up, it's almost nearly impossible to fail. You mentioned Sam early on. Sam did a hell of a job in the same system. It's just a matter of time, or it's just a matter of JJ got to get more comfortable and get those reps. I like JJ as far as a competitor, a guy that knows ball and just wants to win. I will take JJ any day. Now, I got to say this, Jonathan Greenard is a fantastic leader because, one, he was hyping up the second year young quarterback on his roster without kind of taking a shot at Carson Wentz. Now, I'm sure those guys in the locker room, they understand if they want to reach their max potential this season, if they want to go on a deep playoff run, if they want to win playoff games, there's no doubt they probably believe that number 9 gives them the best chance to do so because number 9, he's just a mystery box. He is an unknown. We truly do not know anything about him. Could he be one of the biggest busts in NFL history? That's on the table. Could he be, one of the most greatest success stories for the Vikings drafting? That's very much on the table too. So Greenard, I thought he handled that perfectly, hyping up his young guy, hyping up his quarterback without taking a shot at Carson Wentz. So shout out to 58 for that one. And I've seen a lot of commotion on, Twitter just talking about, oh, look at Daniel Jones, look at Sam Darnold. All these guys are, so successful. Why did we let them leave? Everybody just needs to take a deep breath. And we got to trust in Kevin O'Connell because if you hear what people around the NFL say about KOC, he knows the quarterback position better than just about anybody. And with all the pressure that KOC has on him to win a playoff game, not only within the organization, but from the fan base, he would not just let those two guys walk out the door unless he had some sort of confidence that JJ could develop into what we all hope he could eventually be. But KOC, on his Monday press conference, said this about where JJ McCarthy is at and just what percentage he's at with his injury, saying, I don't necessarily want to put a percentage on where I think he's at health-wise, and I think we will this week will be massive for our whole team. But just to see JJ back out there getting reps and working through the process of building that foundation back up, and we got off to a really good start last week, I was very fortunate to get that time with him. It's the foundation of throwing mechanics from the ground up that he's really taken to since he got here, just the consistency of it. Now, a huge conversation around Vikings fans right now is J.J. McCarthy's footwork. And, there's no doubt it's an issue right now. Like, J.J., his lower body is not always connected to his upper body, which can lead to some inaccuracy, which we definitely saw during that Week 2 game against the Atlanta Falcons. So that's an issue right now, but it's not like this is an unfixable issue. Like, there is an answer to this problem, and that answer is the coaching. It's Josh McCown. It's Kevin O'Connell. Because also KOC today when he was talking to the media, he said him and JJ, kind of like what he was saying, they got some great work in last week, and it was very beneficial for him where he could, critique and, give JJ some advice after every single throw. And he was even saying sometimes even before the throw, he was able to help him out. So having JJ out there with McCown and KOC last week, I think that was absolutely huge. But KO, first question he was asked today was, who is starting this week? And I think we got a grumpy Kevin O'Connell with this answer. He says, it is in the same place it was Monday when I answered the question. Now, I wish I could show you guys this video because the tone of his voice, KOC, is just like, guys, please stop asking me this. We have no idea. We got to go through the whole practice week. So clearly Kevin O'Connell He is just kind of waiting to see how the practice week plays out. Obviously, there's an injury to Carson Wentz. There's an injury to JJ McCarthy. I'm going to assume it's probably a 50-50 shot on who we get in this Week 7 matchup versus the Eagles. But right after that, KOC said this, saying both are going to get work, both going to get reps. Very much looking forward to our whole team getting back out there. So I'm assuming at practice, which is going on right now when we're filming this, it is probably going to be 50% JJ with QB1, 50% Carson Wentz at QB1, and it might just come down to which guy is the most healthy this Sunday, which guy looks the most ready. So, again, I don't think we'll get an update on who is starting at the quarterback position probably until, damn near Saturday. Kevin O'Connell was so good at this coach speak. Like, just listen to the press conference today. It was absolutely hysterical. Like, anybody will ask him any question, and KOC just gives those, long-winded answers where he's not really telling us anything. So it's more incentive to hit that subscribe button, because even if it's a late night Saturday, I don't care what I'm doing. I'll have a video for you guys ASAP, discussing who is going to be starting at quarterback. But also the injury reports this week, those are going to be huge to follow. But it was just more of a, classic KO coach talk today at his press conference, which, we kind of expected. But I'll ask you guys this. Pick a quarterback for me. Let's just assume all these guys are 100% healthy. Who are you rocking and rolling with? Are you going with JJ McCarthy, type those 9s? If you're going with Carson Wentz, give me an 11. Or if you're going with Max Brosmer, give me a 12 down below. Obviously, you guys know I'm rolling out with JJ McCarthy. He needs the reps. He needs to develop. And, if he is 100% healthy, I truly believe he gives us the best chance to win that football game this upcoming Sunday. Maybe you guys disagree with me. That's A-okay. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. All right, now we'll give you guys that big-time Carson Wentz injury update here in a second. But before we do so, we're going to tell you guys about today's sponsor, that being Prize Picks. Now, you and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So don't miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, or it's good to be right. And if you guys download that Prize Picks app today and plug in promo code CONS, we'll hook you guys up with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, Prize Picks has a brand new feature called Stacks, meaning you can pick up to the same player 3 times in the same lineup. So, for example, if you want to pick more on Justin Jefferson's receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns, now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. But they also have another new feature, and it's the feed tab, where you guys can now follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app, copy their lineups in one click, whether it's a friend, celebrity, or just someone whose picks you like. Hit that follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. So download the Prize Picks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. As promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. But shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, so this injury update was not coming in from any Vikings beat reporters, not Kevin O'Connell, but a big-time NFL insider, Jeremy Fowler, saying this about Carson Wentz, saying he is day-to-day with a pretty painful left shoulder injury. So, obviously, that's not good because, no matter who's playing in at quarterback for the Vikings, obviously, you guys know I want JJ McCarthy out there, but whoever is playing at quarterback, you want those guys to be 100% healthy. So, you got 2 quarterbacks already shaky at the position, not 100% healthy, and KOC also confirmed that. He said both Wentz and JJ aren't 100% healthy. Now, Kevin O'Connell has also said early on this week and in past weeks that he's not going to roll out JJ McCarthy unless he is 100% healthy. So I do think if it's like Wentz, he's at 95%, and JJ's at 95%, then they would go to Carson Wentz. But if JJ somehow is feeling A-okay, he's 100% healthy, then I think it would be him. But I just still think it's going to be tough for JJ to get to that 100% mark where he is, giving the Vikings coaching staff confidence that he can go out there and execute the game plan. But Ben Goessling, my opinion, favorite beat reporter around the Minnesota Vikings, had his best guess at who's going to start, saying, I would imagine they're going to take the week and say, let's get him, JJ, some work and see how he is physically, see how he's commanding the offense when he gets chances. I would imagine it's that, and you're looking at Carson Wentz to start. If that changes and they say he's ready to go, maybe you switch that up. I just think that's a lot to ask for in a week when you can use this week to say, hey, have this be a little bit of an incubator and see where he's at. So I kind of agree with Goessling right here. My best guess, it would probably be like 51% for me for Wentz, 49% for JJ McCarthy, and who the hell knows? Like, what if Max Brosmer somehow gets out there if Wentz and JJ aren't ready to go? We could see number 12 suiting up for the purple and gold and being under center. But let's just say JJ is at 95%, and he's not ready to go, the question becomes, when do you bring back McCarthy? Like, are you just saying, like, yeah, we'll play him against the Los Angeles Chargers, short week, going against his former college head coach, Jim Harbaugh? Like, that's going to be a tough spot. But then are you going to throw him out there in Detroit against the Lions? That's a tough spot. Now, that following week, you have the Baltimore Ravens at US Bank Stadium. Obviously, their defense has been a disaster this season, so that would be a more advantageous spot. But my take on it is the schedule, frankly, should not matter. If JJ is ready to go, he should play. He is your starting quarterback. He is QB1. If he is 100%, even if it's the day before the Chargers game, or if it's Saturday night, or if it's Sunday morning before the Eagles, you play JJ McCarthy. Now, this would be a completely different conversation if Wentz was playing lights out. Like, if over the last 3 games when Wentz was playing, if he was going out there, Vikings offense was averaging 30-plus points per game, he was throwing for 300-plus yards, 3 touchdowns every single game, I don't even think this would be a conversation. I think even myself, one of the biggest JJ McCarthy, glazers is what you guys like to call it, or at least what the kids are calling it right now, even I would be saying Carson Wentz should be out there and he should be the starting quarterback. But I'll get back to this point. The Vikings need JJ McCarthy. You need to let this kid develop, because if you want to reach that max potential, you got to see what you have in this guy. And even if he ends up fizzling out, even if he is one of the biggest busts in Vikings history, at least you have that answer for next offseason. We can go attack the quarterback position. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out this week. It's just typical Vikings fashion this week before the Eagles game. Like, we have no idea who the starting quarterback is, and probably the biggest game of the season so far. But I'll ask you guys this. You guys let me know your thoughts, because a lot of people are already checking out on JJ. So you guys let me know. Do you believe in JJ McCarthy? Give me a Y for yes. Give me an N for no. You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And also hit that subscribe button on your way out. If you guys watch this entire thing, we were doing something right here. So hit that subscribe button today, and we will be live for the Eagles game. We're also going to be live tomorrow here on the channel. So make sure you guys tune in then, and we'll see you guys next time. As always, let's go Vikes.